Hello everybody and welcome! Today we're talking about rovers. Why, you may ask? Well, when the official Kerbal Space Program Twitter account posted about rovers, I remembered how many crazy rovers I did in the past, and it kind of gave me a good feeling because I really liked putting those together, and that was kind of the stepping stone for making something maybe less crazy and more practical. And I came up with this, a small little thing that can fit in a big cargo bay and has, well, most science equipment on board. But I was not really satisfied with it, because most science equipment is not all science equipment. And, well, while it may look cool as it is, at least I think so, it has a bit of a stability problem, because the wheels are so narrowly together. And, well, overall I thought this thing might need a redesign. So I came up with this. This has a much wider wheelbase, is therefore much more stable, can attain larger speeds because of that without flipping, and it can also contain that big experiment container on the right side that you can see here. But this does not fit into a cargo bay. So what should I do with it? Well, I didn't want to shrink it down or squish it together or whatever. So I came up with a... how do I put this? Well, okay, it was my usual crazy, over-the-top, over-engineered escalation of things. And yeah, since I was not willing to shrink down the rover, I came up with another way of making it fit into a cargo bay. And this is the vehicle to show it to you. Yeah, it's kind of over the top. But it's a, well, almost sensible launch approach here. We're going to have a big first stage that sends us almost into orbit. And then we're gonna finish that up with a small second stage. And then we're going to head to another planet. Which one, you may ask? Well, maybe you've already seen it. I don't know what thumbnail I'm going to choose yet, so maybe it's already in the thumbnail. Maybe you know more than me. Anyway, while we watch these fun little animations and see that we're heading out of the atmosphere, we can now separate our stage and fly away into that good old circularization where we're safe from the atmosphere, and then we can make a few explosions, but none that would damage our ship. Let's get away from that debris. That debris is, by the way, going to deorbit. I timed it in such a way that it will go back down and burn up. What should not burn is our solar panels, and those are being extended right now, because we're going to need more power where we're going. And here we go. So we're burning now out of our sphere of influence of Kerbin, and yes, we're going to Duna once again, because I like Duna. It's pretty to look at, it's nice to drive around, and it's fairly easy to get there, and this is a nice shot. Anyway, we're going here on our approach to Duna. We're at Duna! We're burning up in Duna. No, we're not burning up in Duna. We're using Duna's atmosphere to slow us down, which works great at this planet. And here you can see that actually happening. If you're wondering what those white orbits were, these are from the trajectories mod that I regularly use, and it's really useful. Now we have separation. Yes, this thing can split up because there is a lander and a sort of, well, transfer module or engine module for interplanetary travel, and that we're going to leave in orbit, and we're only going to use the lander. This lander, by the way, is capable of making an SSTO ascent from Kerbin, so it basically should be able to land on and return from almost anything except Eve. And here we go. That is a nice deployment of a cargo bay, don't you think? Well, I think so. We're landing right here. And now for the final touch, Here comes the rover. And how did I fit it into the cargo bay, you may ask? Or maybe you can already surmise from what you see down there. Yes, I've split it in half with the robotics parts. And then we're going to rotate it together. Boom! Docking ports engaged. It is now ready to roll, literally. And here it rolls. There we go. Ready to explore the surface. Well, it's a bit slippery, but we have all-wheel drive, so we should be good, at least for a while. And while we're exploring the surface and getting some science, we can get some more fuel, because yes, this lander contraption, or well, basically it's a huge spaceship in and of itself, it can generate its own fuel. So here we are at one of the surface features that was introduced with, I can't remember which update, but it was a while ago in Kerbal Space Program, and I really enjoyed that little animation of those, what's it called? Experiment arm science thingy. That's now the official name. Experiment arm science thingy. Yeah? Nah, I should look it up, but I forgot. It reminds me, I think it's inspired a little bit by the Mars rovers from NASA, like Curiosity and Perseverance, where they have also this extensible arm with multiple experiments on the front. And it's really fitting that we try that out on Juno. So once we're done with it, we can head back, but since it's so slippery, well, this could cause problems even for such a capable rover as this. So, well, I actually tried to get that back under control, but no, we were not able to do so. So we are now rolling around, and we've lost our science equipment arm, or our experiment arm. So again, well, not exactly, not prematurely doing the again here, because we have an engineer on board, and we have repair kits on board, and we have repaired the arm. But unfortunately, I had no more repair kits for the wheel, so yeah. Again, for real. So, what would happen if we flip around and cannot get back up, if we don't have enough momentum to roll back onto our wheels? Well, I have a solution for that. This is something I did way back a few years ago as well, and this is just a little telescopic piston that can rotate us back into position. There we go. Now we're on the road again. Well, if there were any road. And of course our engineer can fix that arm up. And we're good as new and heading back to the ship. This was a real hassle to connect back to, because we're on a bit of an incline and it's so slippery that I was sliding around all the place. This took many minutes to complete, and even then, look here, we're wobbling left and right and up and down until we finally have a lock with our docking systems. Yay! This is also one of the most recent features. I think it was introduced in version 1.12, where you can realign the docking ports. Very useful, especially for a precision thing like this. And then we're heading back up into the cargo bay, just using my reaction wheels to get it a little bit higher up so we can engage all docking ports, and back to the mothership. Yes, of course, that thing has massive delta V. I told you before, it can lift back up from Kerbin, and the cargo bay is back in position. Way more aerodynamic. Not as important here on Duna, of course, but this is important if you're trying to launch from Kerbin with this thing, or if you are getting back from Lathe, of course. So heading back to our mothership, and while we approach, the Kraken came for a visit. Again! Yes, we did it again, and after waiting out the night side of Duna, I got to docking that thing. And how does this work actually? Yeah, I used the claws to increase stability. Aside from that singular docking port in the middle, there are 6 claws around in the tubes and cargo bays to make this more stable. And this is basically it. A super over-engineered escalation of rover delivery system. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to my channel for more and follow me on my social thingies. The links are in the description. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.